Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on GT Sport. If you do enjoy this video, please remember to hit that thumbs up, comment in the comment section and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. So this time we are on the American account, starting from the back of the grid. We've not set a qualifying time. At Nordschleife, I had only learnt this track properly for this week. We had done it previously in the past, but I hadn't really fully learnt it. But I've actually started to really enjoy this combination. Yeah, so it's actually, I actually like Nordschleife now, which is quite strange because I used to avoid it like anything. But yeah, we're starting from the back and we're going to gain a position straight away. You can see from the start as the Scirocco, I think, just lets us go past. So we're up to P13 from starting from P14. Luckily, we were starting ahead of all the other drivers that hadn't set a qualifying time. So that gives us a nice little bit of an advantage. So down into turn 1, fuel saving, mixture 2, keep it nice and smooth through here. And looking ahead, we've got absolute carnage going off. We've got contact, the Scirocco locks up and goes straight on. I don't know why his car just went straight. Maybe, I don't know whether he had ABS off or what. Or yeah, carnage. As we have 2 more cars, contact there, 1 with a penalty, and we managed to gain more positions. And then we see an inside opportunity here, and that is a very nice start to the race, up to P9. So we started P14 and now we're in P9, so 5 positions gained in a matter of about 3 or 4 corners. So couldn't really have gone better the start of this race. So let's see what we can do now. We're going to do a lot of fuel saving into mixture 3, obviously mixture 2, and we've got to try and catch up the Veyron that's in front of us, a very fast car down the straights, but we'll probably suffer a little bit on tyre wear towards the end of the race. So fast forward in this action as we're trying to get a little bit closer. You can see myself messing with that fuel mixture. You're going to see it going up and down throughout the race and short shifting here and there. Every opportunity you can do to save fuel, you want to try and do it in this combination when it was on. I did really enjoy this week racing at Nordschleife. It was so much fun. It was really nice to learn this track, and yeah, I will be doing this track whenever it's on in the future. So yeah, more content for Nordschleife in the future, hopefully. As we work our way down, we've caught up to P8. We're in the slipstream, you can see, as we get back onto normal pace on the race here. And we're just in mixture 3, just saving fuel behind him on this downhill section. Very easily to run wide on these corners through. It's very, you know, the track is so narrow, and the speed you're going through, it's so easy just to pick up a bit of grass and just run off the track. But we're going to get the slipstream from the Veyron. He's going to stay to the left. He's going to give us that inside line. We've got the slipstream now to the Audi TT in front. So we're actually going to do a bit of fuel saving through here, you can see. So I went down to mixture 3 because I could see they're battling away. But then back up to mixture 1 because I saw an opportunity here. As the Ferrari battles with him, we're getting like a nice double slipstream from the cars in front. So we're going to go down the left-hand side here. He's going to give us the space, which he does. And now we're going to go for the move on the Audi. Can we actually make this move work? Up on the inside, this is going to be very tight. It's very difficult to go for a move here. We make sure we lift off and we give him plenty of space on the right-hand side. And we managed to make that move up into P6 already. So a great start to this race. We're going to skip a little bit further ahead as we managed to build up quite a nice gap to the drivers that we just overtook. So we're now right behind P5 in the Scirocco, and yeah, fuel saving now. Back to the fuel saving strategy. So we had to do quite a lot of pushing during that section that we've just obviously skipped through because there was not much action going on. We just skipped through it as we were using mixture 1 and pushing to see if we can catch up to this battle. So we used quite a little bit of fuel to get back up to this battle that we've going on here. What I did notice as well was P1. P1 clearly was not on a no-stop strategy because he was really pushing, so my guess was that he was on the medium tyres and not worrying about fuel saving, which I was quite confused people were still running that strategy towards the end of the week, because I'm going to be brutally honest, it was the wrong strategy to run. It just didn't work. I'm baffled why people were still doing it. Maybe they wanted to try and get a win with a one stop, but it just wasn't going to work. You were best doing the fuel save strategy as we work our way through the carousel. And you can see, just trying to take it nice and easy through. It's very easy to lose the rear end through there with an MR car, specifically like the Ferrari, etc. It was quite easy to get on the power a bit early and the rear would rotate and you'd just be drifting through the corner. So you can see, I'm not too worried about losing the slipstream here because I can see there's 4 cars up ahead of me. So what I'm doing now, I'm just putting in mixture 3 to 6 and just saving fuel because I know that the Ferrari's quite strong through here. So taking it nice and smooth, keeping it the fuel saving going, making sure that we're going to have a bit of fuel towards the end because, you know, we've got to push, so we've got to use fuel when we can and save when we can. It's a strategy when you're starting from the back of the grid at a combination like this where fuel savings involved. You've basically got to use your fuel wisely. So, you know, if there's a gap in traffic, use that fuel to get yourself back into the slipstream of the cars ahead. Then when you're in that slipstream of the cars ahead and you've got corners like this, there's no point using mixture 1 and being all over the rear, you know, trying to find a way past because it's very unlikely you're going to get past. So we're just saving fuel here. As we come through here though, you can see in mixture 2, you can see there's a bit of contact with the cars up ahead. and we go for the move on the right hand side. Can we hold it around the outside? We have to back out of that a little bit and then get a nice exit here. Though we get a really good run on the left hand side. However, I get on the grass, and as I put the power down, the car just rotates. I'm so sorry to P5. We lost the rear on the grass and we ended up taking him out, so big apologies to that driver, but it was not deliberate. As we got the run, we just got the rear left onto the grass and the car just rotated on me, so yeah, 100% my fault. But luckily he didn't lose a massive amount of time. We lost about 2 seconds, I think, and we would have been a little bit ahead of this battle now. As we go through here, as he goes for a move on the Audi but runs wide himself, like I say, and he nearly does an exact replica of what I did to him. But luckily in the FF cars it's a lot easier to catch that kind of situation. So we give the Audi a little bump draft on the straight, and then we decide to go for the move towards the end of the straight because I think he was doing quite a bit of fuel saving. And now we're doing mixture 4 again towards the end here, where you're not really going to gain much by being in mixture 1 when you're just coasting through this corner. So up ahead we've got a 2 wide situation. We're in P5. P1 has pitted like we predicted. It was pretty obvious with the pace he was doing, and he's going to have to put a lot of fuel in there. He's only on 18% fuel, so he has been revving like crazy in that car. That is not, I don't think that's the way to do that, because that's going to cost him about 30 seconds in the pit lane. He's never going to make that up. So we go for a move on the inside, then we go to the outside, we get around the outside, we're actually side by side nearly here, and then going into the apex, he kind of just shuts the door. It was kind of a 50-50 that. I do think that was partly my fault. I think it was partly his fault. I think we had the opportunity for the inside line. I gave myself the inside line, hence why there was contact there, but he just closed the door. Maybe he didn't know I was there, but yeah, once I had gone for that, I couldn't really back out of it. So yeah, sometimes I'd wait for that, but I think in that situation, I think it was my corner with the fact that I'd had the inside line. But yeah, a bit unfortunate, but apologies to him if it was a little bit aggressive. But we're now up into P3 and working our way very close to P1 also. So we've done quite a good job here. Fuel needed to be a bit saved because I'd used quite a bit in between the gaps of traffic to build our way back up. And we obviously had that little incident with the Scirocco as well, where we lost about 2 or 3 seconds. So, you know, we would have probably been really close by the end of the straight without that incident. But now we're just pushing ahead here again, just using fuel saving and, you know, trying to get the speed out of the car while fuel saving. And we've got ourselves into the slipstream of Mr. in front of us, who, like I say, is on YouTube. So please make sure you check out his channel as well, Mr. MCA. He's on YouTube, does content for GT Sport, so do give him a subscribe on YouTube. I will leave the link in the description for his channel also. So yeah, we're working our way down the straight now. We've got Mr. in front of us in the Veyron. The Veyron was probably an okay car here, except for the tyre wear. I'm not sure about fuel. I don't think it's the best on fuel. But yeah, they obviously started at the front from P2 and 3, or P1, 2 and 3. I can't remember which way it was. They were definitely in the front 3 rows. We started P14, so we've done an incredible job to get ourselves up to the podium position in P3, even with the mistakes we've made. So yeah, we're now just trying to be tactical with this. We're going to save fuel where we can, just make sure we stay in the slipstream and try and not lose that draft, because it's so important to be in the slipstream, especially with the Ferrari, because it's not the fastest car down the straight, but it's got 7 gears, so you can save quite a lot of fuel when following another car. And yeah, I have to say, like, with regards to this track, it's such a nice track once you learn it. Once you start getting used to the flow of the track, like this section here, I found it so easy to save fuel through here. You can just kind of just lift off the throttle and let the car coast. As Mr. runs a little bit wide there, we take advantage of that, and that was really opportunistic. We saw him running wide, we were already saving fuel, but just saw that little opportunity, jumped ourselves into P2, and now we're from P14 up to P2 at a track that we've pretty much only learnt this week, and it's not the easiest track to learn. Like, Nordschleife is a very difficult track in my view to fully master. I still don't think I'm anywhere near fully mastered of it. What I think I'm now is I'm confident enough to race it and enjoy it at the same time, and that is the main thing. You know, once you can enjoy a combination like this, I think we'll be doing this track whenever we see it pop up, whether it's in Group 3 or Group 4. But I have to say, this track for the whole week was so much fun. Group 4, fuel saving. I'm not normally a fan of fuel saving, but it really worked for this one because it enabled a lot of different cars to compete, and it was a lot of fun. Credit to them for the high fuel ratio they did for this race. I think it made the race more entertaining, and I had a lot of fun at this one. But yeah, as we're working our way down now, you can see fuel saving behind the Mustang now. We're behind that Ford Mustang, which again is not the best car on fuel. I do think they might have improved it slightly with a patch a while ago or previously. However, it's still nowhere near as good as the Ferrari. The Ferrari is definitely better on the fuel. However, remember, these drivers started at the front of the grid, so they've had less distance to travel anyway. And yeah, I'd much rather start at the front in a car like that than at the back in the Ferrari for an overall race, but we're doing a good job. In the Ferrari here, we've got ourselves up to P2 and we're driving very well. Mixture free through this corner, just while we can, using that mixture and basically short shifting when we can. Mustang quite good on the power zones, as you'll know if you've used the Mustang, quite a nice car on the straights. It's not overly fast, but it's just got a lot of grunt behind it, but it's not the best at fuel saving. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to keep the distance between myself and P1 under the 7/10 range, or around 7/10, because as long as we're in the slipstream, we can use the benefit of that extra speed down the straight and save a lot of fuel. You can see into into gear 7 here. Obviously the Ferrari 7 gears, always good to use that 7th gear whenever you can, because that gear will save you so much fuel, because it doesn't use anywhere like near as much fuel with the revs. You're not using the revs, and yeah, it saves you a lot of time in terms of, well, you can then push when you need to with the higher mixture 1 setting. So yeah, through here, working our way into the carousel section, and now it's all about tactics. There's nowhere for you to really overtake him, especially with the Mustang. The Mustang is such a wide car. There's nowhere that I can really overtake him. So what we're doing here now is just pure tactical. We're just going to sit behind him and keep ourselves in the slipstream, take it easy, don't use too much tyre life, don't overdrive it. There's no point one of going for a move that's going to cost a mistake, unless he makes an error and there's an opportunity to go for something and build up enough of a gap to get away from the slipstream. At this point now, you're best just sitting in that slipstream. You can see myself using mixture 6. I'm just saving my fuel, waiting for the moment on the back straight, because that is where you're going to overtake in Group 4. That straight is so long that you have to time the move. You have to make sure that the slipstream is the right distance behind. If you're too close and you overtake him, he's probably going to then get you back. You've got to judge it to perfection. So it's going to have to be a very tactical move when we go for this final position in this race. You know, we've had 2 laps to do this, and we're coming towards the end of lap 2. You can see now we're nearly 7 minutes into the lap, so we're not that long left as we work our way through this section here, trying to be very cautious. We don't run wide, they're very easy to do. And then into this left hand corner, which again, just trying to make sure we get a good solid exit. We're going to go probably into mixture 2 in a minute there, as we go into mixture 2, just to make sure that we don't lose too much contact with him. We don't want to drop the slipstream, because if he breaks us out the slipstream, that might cause us issues. But fuel is looking okay right now. It's looking pretty good. I've been doing a lot of fuel saving behind him here, just playing it tactically. Like I said, there's no point me just going all over him, pushing him, trying to force him into a mistake. Best just to save your fuel and do it the simple way, by a clean pass on the final straight. So you can see that mixture 6 being used, and now we're coming up to a very tricky section. It's so easy to run wide here, and then this left hand corner, very easy to go too deep into this corner and run wide on the right hand side, but we do that quite nicely. And then we're coming up to the next tricky corner. This is the banked corner that it can catch you out so easy, but I have to say I started to get that quite nicely done. And then into this long right hand corner, this is a part of the track where I still think I need a bit of work on. I seem to take a bit of a weird line through there, so I do probably need to work on our lines through there. However, we've got the gap pretty much spot on here. We can see we're going to gain on him. We're about 4 attempts, 5 attempts back, half a second back. We can use all the fuel we want now, though. You can see I'm going to go into 7th. We're not going to over rev 6th gear too much, because 7th gear will pull really nice in the slipstream. So we've got that nice bit of straight line speed from getting the slipstream from the Mustang, and now we're up into P1. Can we hold this off, though? You can see he almost lifted on purpose to get back into our slipstream to try and get a run at us on the downhill section. However, the Ferrari, once it goes downhill with the 7th gear, is actually quite strong. You can see it now. It's got that 7th gear. We're going to put the car pretty much in the middle of the track, make it very difficult, and then into this last section, all we've got to do now is keep it nice and smooth, keep it on the track, through this corner, use some of the curb on the right side, on the throttle nice and early, and we did that really smoothly. And you see a massive moment from the Mustang behind us, nearly lost control there, but just about managed to save it, and we go over the line for a pretty impressive, and I have to say, a very unexpected win from the back of the grid at Nordschleife. I didn't think this would work. I didn't think I'd get this done throughout the whole week. We've obviously just learning the track, but yeah, really happy with myself there to do that and get a really good result. And yeah, I have to say, I'm a big fan of Nordschleife now. I look forward to racing this track more. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, if you found it useful for anything, maybe fuel saving, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section what you thought of the race, and I'll be back with more of these videos and live streams in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye.